yevi amitapendwa ya vintu ifisume vyoto kula kuivukisha tana depotimo wimbo watemenu wakatongi abazunga batita katongi nakula kuivukisha kateka kaibukubuna kapona neseko syove pamenso yangu ama umebaya iyaba ume iyaba ume
kateka wabantu twakulira lelo twakulira shika kukonke milimo shove
Sile eti kume mo kulondolo la vale lilo wingi
iseko wingi mwakwete isaso wingi mwakwete mwaya mwende wino tata wesu
katusi muchi motege wali bomba kale lomba mwatuja tuleli lake
Good day. Thank you very much for joining us on this day, Friday. Today, I'm inviting you immediately to begin to call. We are discussing the energy sector. The country is suffering from a critical shortage of fuel, especially diesel, and then the load shedding that has affected households, industries, small and medium enterprises. What is the cause? Why are we having this crisis? We should remember that the Zambezi River Authority issued a statement and they announced the water allocation they had given to Zambia's Kariba Dam side and Zimbabwe. Last year, they gave water of about 16 billion metric tons of water for Zambia. This was at the highest part when we had that drought. They've increased it for 2025 to 27 billion. So if water was given more than we had last year, why are we facing this crippling power cuts in Zambia? Why? What's our generation capacity? It's about 3,800. What's our national peak demand? It's at 2,200. We are expected to have excess of 1,000 megawatts all the time. Well, they are telling us that the water levels are very low in Kariba, but that doesn't make sense. We had some of the biggest water. That's why we have the bumper harvest that we have in the agricultural sector. I recognize that it takes about 3 years for that dam to be filled. Has ZESCO done a good job to explain why we're having load shedding? Why don't they stick to their calendar? What is it that is happening? And how much power are we exporting? How much power are we exporting? None of those answers are suitable. None of those answers are coming. So our national installed generation capacity is now 3,871. This growth was driven by additional capacity from solar power plants. One, the Kitwe solar plant in Itimpi Riverside, which expanded by 34 megawatts in 2023 and 94 megawatts in 2024. The 100 megawatts that was installed in Chisamba. The generation capacity at Kafue Gorge Lower, and at Kariba North Bank, and the power grids, Teji and others. So both from hydros, and renewables like solar, and then the heavy fuel one from Mundola Energy. Again, we have to discuss why has it gone down. There was a large expectation when it went online, and there was a lot of excitement. What happened to Ndola Energy? It used to bring in about 110 megawatts into the power grid. Then there are all these issues. ZESCO has been made to sign with independent power producers. It's buying power very expensively from Mamba and other sources in Ndola Energy and selling it to you at a low price. And then the power it generates from Kariba, from Kafue Lower, Kafue Higher, Teji, and other dams, Victoria, Force, and the lower power stations, whether it's Chishimba, whether it's Musonda Force, whether it's Lusiwashi in Serenje or Lunzua in Impulungu. All these, when you aggregate the power demands, the power that we're supposed to have in installed capacity exceeds our national peak demand of 2,200 megawatts. It varies between 1,500 to 2,200 megawatts. So what is ZESCO doing? Why aren't they giving us the information? How much power are they generating? And then what's the role of these power traders? Because the power traders are exporting power to Botswana, to Namibia, to the mines in Zambia and in the DRC. What is their role? How are we balancing with the needs of the economy? How can out of 24 hours give power only for 5 hours? And even that 5 hours is reliable because our people are going without power sometimes up to 40 hours, up to 55 hours. Someone has texted me that they haven't had power since Sunday, and they thought maybe it's a fault. They've reported to ZESCO. They said it's a load management issue, another name for power cuts, another name for load shedding. What is happening at ZESCO? We need to demand answers. Then they are importing power from Mozambique, exporting it to the mines. Again, there are people that have sat in between as power traders there. Clearly, government, Ministry of Energy and ZESCO are not telling us what is happening. How much power are we producing per day? How much power does the country need? And how much power are we exporting? What happened to the contractual obligations of force de joie, the force majeure? When you have a national crisis, national disaster, or when something happens, you are obliged to walk out of those contracts. The contracts are not cast in stone. There's been a lot of persuasions, especially from the vice president and others, who say, no. These contracts were signed by PF. No, you can walk out of those contracts. You can't say they were signed by PF. In fact, the large and bulk agreements were signed by our dear brother Victor Mapani. He signed the one of 180 megawatts to Namibia, a similar amount to Botswana, and a revision to the DRC. So you can't keep on blaming the PF 4 years later. That is just not feasible. So the line is open. We are discussing the power crisis. What is the matter? The issue of Enoch Simfukwe, who was, brutally murdered and killed in Chisamba at a farm belonging to Maria Zalumis. She's renting that farm from the Onanis, and she's been excluded from the investigation so far. She hasn't been picked. Is it a proximity to the president? Is it because she's a daughter of someone holding a key position in government, a key sensitive position, the Electoral Commission of Zambia? That's a mother. Could it be the reason of familiarity with President Hakainde Hichilema? Someone said, no, she just took a picture with the president. Well, I counted, I think, 4 pictures, separate pictures with the president. Could it be the reason the police are issuing all these contradictory statements? And before I open the lines, and let me just check that the phone is connected today. This is your show. We are discussing the power crisis. When did you last have power? If it came, did it come for 5 hours or it came for 1 hour, 2 hours? This is the purpose of the broadcast today. Let's air it out. Let someone demand answers, questions, and let's hope that someone can give us answers. I just want to make sure that we begin to take the phones as soon as possible. You can call now. We are not going to waste time. Let's discuss this issue. Do you have power? When did you last have power? Do you have standby power? Because even if you have solar, how long can it last if you have not having power for 19 hours? Batteries usually charge for 3, 4, 5 hours. They don't charge for 24 hours. And what else is it affecting? Network. Because your network, your mobile phones are run by mobile sites, by, where the tower sites are. And those tower sites, if there's no power, they are on either generator or solar. Again, that power runs out within 3 to 4, 5 hours, and we are back to the same issue. So you have a failure, not just of people that can't work, food going bad, and a lot of things. But you also have network, you can't communicate. A broadcast like this is poorly delivered to you. So call, let's hear your concerns about the power and the power crisis. On this young lady that has not been picked up by the police is a hot matter. You can contribute. There's another issue. This one is not for discussion. I encourage that we exercise a lot of restraint. The UPND government, the Secretary to Cabinet, has issued a statement and banned all from discussing the matter regarding the funeral and burial of the late president, Zambia's 6th president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. They say they want to discuss with the family and they want an atmosphere that is suitable. Remember, on this program, I've said you can't call for negotiations when Konswe, Simon Mwewa and others are insulting the late president. When you've lined up at ZMMSA, people calling just for the body and, not taking concerns of the family. And I've demanded that there has never been, the environment in Zambia is so toxic that it's not possible under these circumstances to put the late president to rest under these circumstances. And I'm glad that now there is a great attempt during this period of the matter that has been adjourned sine die, that maybe the two parties can discuss. So we call for responsibility. Let us see if the Secretary to Cabinet's statement to government officials can be respected. Earlier, we had seen Batuke Imenda, who is the Secretary General of the party, also issue a similar statement directing all party officials to keep away from this matter. Are these goals or directives sincere? Can this government, is this too late? Can they be trusted? Clearly, trust has been broken down. Clearly, there's no trust. The bridge, was blown away. But can these measures rebuild trust? Can these measures reconnect the bridges so that the family and the government could discuss? It's up to you and me to exercise responsibility. That's why I'm not encouraging remarks and talks about that matter. Let's stick to the issues we've come for. The matter of Enoch Simfukwe, who was killed in Chisamba, you can talk about that. And the failure by the police to pick. The person was even in the video asking questions, participating. She didn't stop. And the facts there are even more concerning, because the young man was picked up at 17 hours. The police are saying he was only beaten at 22 hours, then he died at 01. What was happening between 17 hours and 22 hours? Clearly, that gives me other charges such as kidnap, abduction. Because what is happening, you capture him at 17. Then the police report that he was beaten at 22 hours. Then he's rushed to Kabwe General Hospital, where he dies at 01:30. The gaps are too many. That's why the police should have gathered everyone, arrested everyone, until the investigations then review who did what. But to immediately begin to exclude, I think that's what concerned us. So a lot of people are asking, Maria Zalomis, the Z farmer, why hasn't she been picked? It's at her farm, number one. She was present when the entire crime was being committed. Is it a closeness and proximity to the president? Why hasn't she been picked? What is happening? There's another picture where she is with her mother and the president, and this was now another day, I think, at her swearing in. So clearly, people are asking for answers with the police. Are they trying to cover up this matter? Ko, it's your show today. Let's hear where you are calling us from.
So we urge our citizens that they remain calm. We can see light at the end of the tunnel, and that tunnel is now becoming shorter by the day. As we speak, we now have unprecedented rains in the last maybe 2 decades. And with those rains, yesterday Cabinet was informed that load shedding is likely to begin to diminish by June 2025. This is because the major water catchment areas of northwestern province into the Barotse, plains, and now also the Kafue, flood plains. Water takes 3 months journey to move from Kaleni Hills, from Chavuma, into Victoria Falls, into Kariba. 3 solid months. Water moves very slowly in the plains because it's flat. This water which you see when it rains here in Lusaka, we are going for work at ZMMSA. Then you find that water is running fast. It's here in Lusaka. But the water needed to change the electricity situation or the water level situation in the Kariba or Kafue Gorge, upper and lower, or Iteji, moves very slow because once it gets to the plains are flat, so water velocity for overland flow of water is reduced. And that is why the experts have said they have not yet done a full measure because they are waiting for the water. But their projections from their readings at their reading stations in Chavuma and Victoria Falls, and I think there's one in somewhere in the Western Province, indicates an exponential rise in water, but they are not yet speaking with certainty because they believe in empirical data. And therefore, we are also a government that believes in numbers, because numbers don't lie. So the experts yesterday from Zambezi River Authority updated Cabinet that it is their anticipation that by June, load shedding will begin to de-escalate. I thought it was important. So we urge our citizens that they remain calm. We can see light at the end of the tunnel, and that tunnel is now becoming shorter by the day. As we speak, we now have unprecedented rains in the last maybe 2 decades. And with those rains, yesterday Cabinet was informed that load shedding is likely to begin to diminish by June 2025. This is because the major water catchment areas of northwestern province into the Barotse, plains, and now also the Kafue, flood plains. Water takes 3 months journey to move from Kaleni Hills, from Chavuma, into Victoria Falls, into Kariba. 3 solid months. Water moves very slowly in the plains because it's flat. This water which you see when it rains here in Lusaka, we are going for work at ZMMSA. Then you find that water is running fast. It's here in Lusaka. But the water needed to change.
Let me read this from a statement from the Zambezi River Authority, statement issued by the Director General. So it says, let me just get this. He has a very long, he's an engineer and he has a Zimbabwean name. The managing director for Zambezi River Authority by treaty always comes from Zimbabwe, but the headquarters is in Zambia. It's like Tazara. Tazara's headquarters is in Tanzania, but the managing director always comes from Zambia. Similar treaty. So ZESCO has been allocated increased water allocation of 13.5 billion cubic meters for power generation in 2025. It is up from 8 billion cubic meters in 2024. Someone said it should be read, it should lead liters. I think when they are using cubic meters, you don't use liters or, in this case, because we are using cubic meters. As determined by the Zambezi River Authority, the larger allocation is now a total of 27 billion cubic meters of water shared between ZESCO and Zimbabwe Power Company. So the total allocation is 27 billion cubic meters for power generation at Kariba Dam for both countries. ZESCO's share is 13.5 billion cubic meters from last year, which was 8 billion when we were having that kind of load shedding, but it's now at 13.5 billion cubic meters. This is because of favorable projection by climate experts for normal to above rainfall in 2024-2025 season, which has now led to this increased allocation. So you and I then are asking, why are we being load shedded so much when we have enough water in Kariba Dam? Are they keeping the water for next year? What about the exports? Why hasn't anyone stopped the exports to ensure that our people have power? That our people do have, power for work, to store their food, to ensure that industries are running. Abakushokerera nabo baleshokerera abammasaloon abamababa shop. Why? You have the number 0973078082. I want to hear from you. Do you have power? a lot of people are writing messages already. This one is saying, Ambassador Mwamba, we understand there's no load shedding in southern provinces. Are true? Well, I hope someone who's in southern province can tell us how much load shedding they suffer. I don't know how true that is, but if there's anyone who's in southern province and they've been excluded from load shedding, I think that would be very serious. It raises other matters. This one is saying we last had power on Tuesday. Chalala area is in Chalala area. So I want people to hear you. Don't send text. Let's hear you. They'll say Emmanuel Mwamba is manufacturing things. I want you to call. Call on that number on WhatsApp and let's hear you. When did you last have power? When did you have power? We want to hear from you. We've demonstrated that our generation installed capacity is 3,800. Our use at peak level is 2,200. Unless you can demonstrate that we are producing power at less than the national demand at peak, then we can understand why you are doing a load management. And then you've received more water from the Zambezi River Authority than you received. You had 8 billion cubic meters last year. You now have 13.5, almost double. So why are people subjected to this extensive load management? We have our first caller. Scott, you can call, please call, and we want to hear from you. Cornelius Mwetwa was saying the rainfall we had last year is one of the largest recorded, meaning, and that statement he issued it in June, that it would take 3 months for the water to arrive at Kariba. Well, we are going almost to September. Where is the water? Why are our people being load shedded in this manner? That's what we want to ask ZESCO and other to tell us, but they don't seem to be telling us. This is a young man and the mother crying, Enoch Simfukwe, the mother crying at the burial yesterday at Chingwele. Okay, as I wait for your call, Kuzwa Opiri says probably they're reserving power for use because we have an election next year. Maybe they are preserving because Kariba has, Harare has reduced, Zimbabwe has reduced load shedding. Well, it's plausible. So Kuzwa Opiri suggests they could be reserving water for next year. Why are we still exporting power? A lot of people are still asking that question. And someone says, maybe they want us to have 24/7 power because we'll have an election next year. But what about the damage being done now? This one says, Ambassador, is it cubic liters or metric tons? Well, I think I've corrected. I have read exactly what Zambezi River Authority, they didn't even use liters, they used billion cubic meters, BCM. Last one, Tembo says, in Lundazi, power went at 8 hours. Till now, we are still in darkness. Remy Dixon Musosha says, the UPND have taken us to dark ages, resulting in economic decline. That's another matter. They say there's economic growth of 4%, 6%. How? You have no diesel that runs the economy. You know, for over now a month, people are struggling with the issues of diesel. Then you don't have power. Because to run even genset, you need diesel. Then diesel is in short supply. We ought to be serious. So where is that surplus and production coming from? This one says government UPND is a West government. Zambians are just taken for granted. As usual, there's no power here. Baschula, how will I know where here is? Mwalande komuri. As usual, there's no power here. I agree there's no power, but where? So Schula, tell us where you are. We only had power for 30 minutes and it's gone through the other cycle again. HH must be voted out. Watching from Chambishi, Kalulushi. Yeah. We had power at 24 hours and it was cut off at 05. That looks good. I don't know, Port Chills, where is that? Mention the place. We are in Chawama, no power. Yeah. Let's see the comments. We've only had ZESCO for 30 minutes and it goes for another cycle of 24 hours. Yeah. Okay, sorry. The callers are calling. It's your show today. It's your show too. You are the guest. So I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. It's your show. Caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Thank you very much. I'm Anonymous calling you from Lusaka, Zambia.
Yes, Anonymous.
Thank you very much. We are in Ambassador Emmanuel Mwamba. We begin by commending you for the excellent work that you are doing.
Thank you.
Please continue speaking for us. We are in a state of mess in this country. We are in total darkness. And the picture is that small businesses have closed. People running small businesses in markets, depending on electricity, have closed. So it's a messy, and I'm very happy that in this audience we are speaking to a wider audience. So even the people whom this government is exporting to electricity should realize that Zambia, we are in a mess as things stand now. We are dealing with a government that believes in selling things. They believe in selling, they believe in profit. They don't care the welfare of the Zambians as long as they sell. Bamwamba, before they even collect the maize, before our farmers are stuck with their maize, they promised us 50 quarter maize. Before they even give us 50 quarter bag of meal, they are already selling meal. The same thing they are doing with electricity. They are busy exporting to other countries. They are being commended in other countries for exporting this electricity, whereas we are in total darkness in Zambia. Total darkness from morning up to evening. Malaiti maybe sometimes usiku, pakati pa usiku. 23 hours power comes, just 2 hours it goes. What are you going to do with power, Mano Mwamba? That comes at midnight. We are in a state of squalor. We are in a state of total misery. We have been clearly brought back to primitivity because under PF, I was there under PF. Under PF, the longest hours of load shedding we used to complain about is 3 hours. If electricity goes for a long time under PF, it was only 3 hours. These people promised us that they would end the load shedding. That's what they promised us. And I keep wondering if these people indeed are not ashamed with how other people are. Look at what they are doing in America. Look at what Donald Trump is doing. Donald Trump is doing nothing but simply what he promised. These people gave us their own benchmarks. They are failing to fulfill their own benchmarks. They are failing to fulfill the very things that they promised themselves. So Mwamba Wesu, we are in total mess and misery. There's businesses have closed. Those running saloons, hand-to-mouth businesses, I don't know if people are able to quantify the loss. And they have created their own illusions. When they sit in the offices, they are praising themselves that, no, Zambia's economy is growing by 6% GDP, whatever it is. But what's happening on the ground is totally something else. So they have created their own illusion, which they are believing, and they are praising themselves. Absolutely out of touch with what is happening on the ground, Ramwamba.
Thank you, my brother. Let me take some of those calls, as you can see in the background. Yeah.
They were telling us, no, Zambia is Dubai. Zambia, they were telling us its leadership in Dubai, they have got electricity when there's no, when it's not climate change. Today they are in charge. I don't even know what they are, and they are still insisting. They want to still continue ruling the people of this country. So Ramwamba was in a mess, I tell you, and look now what is there. The law that is there now, the law is designed only for PF. You can't run a nation on bitterness, on vengeance. God says vengeance is mine. Whenever you see them working, it's because they want to fix PF. It's on the cells, the prisons are for PF members. The law is designed for PF. UPND members can do whatever they want to do. They will be dancing around everything. There it is, you are mentioning the daughter of Mangala, the Rome, somebody is murdered there. Instead of cramping everybody who is seen in the video there, somebody is being left there just arresting other people around. So that's the type of rule of law we have under this administration.
Thank you, my brother.
So please, thank you very much. We are in a total darkness in Zambia. Civilian to Uno Mwamba. Civilian to not even Pangono, I tell you. We didn't think that this government would perform in such a shambolic fashion. And now you can see where we have put up 4 years. This is their 4 years in government. 4 years in government, they have failed to give us a 50-quarter bag of minimum that they promised themselves. They promised us that they'll end loadshedding. We are in total darkness. 4 years, they're celebrating their 4 years in office now. And they still insist that they want to continue ruling the people of this country.
Thank you, my brother.
So
Thank
we're only
you.
banking on the opposition and you people in the diaspora to work hand in hand to ensure that, please, you help us ensure that we move out this tyrannical government next year.
Oh,
Thank
wonderful.
you very much, Mwamba.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Okay. So, the line is open. Let's hear your voice. Do you have power where you are? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
Hello. Please tell us where you're calling us from.
Good evening.
Good evening.
DRC. Good evening.
Good evening.
This is Emmanuel.
Yes, Emmanuel. Make your contributions.
Yes, sir. I think first I would comment on the issue of this young man who was, who was beaten and
Yes.
Eventually died.
Yes.
That is very sad, especially that we are able to hear on social media that she's been covered, this is Urmesi farmer, whatever it is. But that is not good, because now Zambia is becoming something else. And I would also comment on the issue of rotating, what is happening to our country. It's not good. I don't know if the government is being misled or these government officials, or that if maybe they are misleading the president. We don't know. We don't know, because as citizens we are being loadshedded for over 12 hours or so, which is very sad. And for me, I have nothing much to say, Mr. Mumba, but all I would say is I recommend what you're doing, and you're speaking for the Zambian people. I think I have nothing to say much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Sorry. Dzakamba zape muchinyanja.
Kambani.
Okay, sikomo. Vamwamba chanzafuna ukamba kochemunga pakati paise. Lekani vintu vinangu tikame pachazona, monga vintu vanatichitira, monga vamausampata rangana kuno kumatero. Maraiti enzanaenda vanakwanisa kulungisa transformer veka. Chaneti zakambako ife chazona, muntu wasamnene chamine muntu sayona chochita.
Okay, please call. Let's hear from you. We want to hear from your. We are discussing the issue of load shedding and the other matter of Enoch Simfukwe, who was murdered in Zambia and at the farm of Maria Zalomis, and she's been seen in the video and she's been excluded from the arrest. The police say they are still investigating. They only picked her partner and 3 other workers, but they've left her, and many fear that she's being protected. But here we are discussing load shedding. What is your view? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Vamwamba mulishani.
Aofe unobadishani mkwai.
Zule chula ife vamwamba. Tuachula na malaiti loadshedding. Tuachula.
Ya ile ladi ya malaiti.
Amalaiti vamwamba. Ine njima pano panga nja kunchito kuma 6. Nishatakuli. Nisa kuma 19 nisangatakuli. So nshishi venokuwa. Because isanga kwa malaiti. Mbomba every day. Abantu aba echo baisa temukuteke echaro baisa mukuwesha revenge nomba revenge baisa mukuwesha katusha batendeke ngani banane oroka twishi no baisa mukusta provoke abekara charo katuishi bafatono ngabaisha shintu mwawo otherwise abantu abarete chusha twachula zofino mwe bali uko kumangala ndimone turandirako ifunga twastoya ndefi nijere masero abantu aba bankarwe bakali bali kwate mitimeshivi na totera.
Thank you. Please call. Today is your show. We are discussing the power crisis in Zambia. We are stating that Zambezi River Authority gave ZESCO more water, and the capacity for production is quite higher, far higher than the national demand. Why are they still exporting? Yes, caller, where is that phone that is ringing? Let me look for it. Yes, caller.
Good evening, Ambassador. Can you hear me?
Good evening.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. I just have a couple of comments that I wish to make. For fear of being targeted, I will choose to be called anonymous.
Anonymous, just hold on. Let me just sort out this. Yeah, sorry, Anonymous was on Bluetooth. I don't know if you were able to hear him, but I'll sort that out. Got another call as I try to reconnect Anonymous. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. My name is Anonymous.
Anonymous, make your contribution.
From Zambia.
Thank you.
Yes. They've made their own small business, small companies, which is buying power direct from ZESCO, and those private companies are the ones that are selling power outside Zambia. So that's why we are struggling to have power in Zambia. So that is what is going on. And we know about this as people who are on the ground. And we'll show them on the ballot day. When we see the ballot papers next year, that's when we'll show them our true colors as well. Because they've also shown us their true colors. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening once again, Ambassador. This is Anonymous calling you from the land of AI.
Yes, Anonymous.
Yes, just a couple of comments. On electricity, I want to say that HH is a salesman. He basically just came to sell. He sells everything, you know, and I want to address my friends who are, you know, who run barbershops, salons, and those who do welding in Kalingalinga.
Anonymous, we can't hear you. Let me call you back. Can I call back this phone? Just let's see. Anonymous, we couldn't hear him. Anonymous, I can't hear you. Where can you put your maybe? Okay, yeah, speak.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's clear. Thank you, Anonymous. Sorry for the inconvenience. Please make your contributions.
No problem. So I was saying, HH is a salesman. He's a salesman. He came to sell. He literally sells everything. He's always selling something. You know, now I want to address my friends who run barbershops, those who run salons, and, you know, those who run, you know, welding businesses, maybe in Kalingalinga and those places, and the carpenters, you know, who use powered tools. You know, we've had, and it's very clear that there are some places in this country where load shedding is not so much. Okay, but we also know that there's some company, or I don't know if there are multiple companies, but there are companies who are buying power from ZESCO at a low rate and then sell it back to ZESCO at a high rate. And some companies are being used to do the exporting of power, and they are connected to the UPND government, and they are profiting from that. So for those of our friends who are suffering, and all of us, we are suffering, because right now where I am here in Lusaka, we have power from midnight to 05:30. Now, I don't know if they are giving us power just to use it to go to the toilet, perhaps, because it doesn't make sense at all. So you spend the whole day doing nothing. You can't work. Your business is shut down, you know. And if you're running a butchery, it's over. And the government is exporting to neighboring countries, and the neighboring countries are praising us. So we have this guy in government who doesn't care about you people who run barbershops, who run salons, and so on and so on. They don't care about you. Because once they are selling power and making money and profiting, your businesses are dying. You know, and I always make this example, Ambassador, and I say, if you notice that there's when it comes to taxes, anybody who makes 12,000 kwacha a year is taxed. Meanwhile, the mines are not taxed. We saw the opening of a solar plant in Zambia, and it's already the power that's been produced there has already been given to a foreign business, and we are not benefiting anything from that. These people don't care. Like the previous caller, we need to show them on 13 August 2026. We need to show them our true colors. We need to show them the door. The same way their color is red, we'll give them a red card. They are going. Okay. The second comment is on Maria Zulanis. Now, I just want to say people should know. People should know that her boyfriend is connected to CR1. And he was there in the crime scene. He's connected to CR1. And people need to know that Maria is the daughter to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. People should know that she's a niece to Nelly Muti, who is chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia. And then we've seen
The
from what you're
speaker.
showing.
You mean the speaker?
The Speaker of National Assembly, yes. She's related, she's a niece to the Speaker of the National Assembly. And as we can see right now on your live stream, she's been taking photos with Haga in the Ichlema. And you correct me, but I understand the chair lady for the Electoral Commission of Zambia happens to be a personal lawyer to Hakainde Hichilema. So there's this connection. And then when you also look at the issue of J.J. Banda, for example, you see that he named the people who abducted him and tortured him and molested him. And they work at State House. Nothing has been done. In fact, what happened that when he named them, they now pursued him even more vigorously and aimed to just eliminate his life. This is what is happening with Hakainde Hichilema. Those who are close to him can commit heinous crimes. They will go scot-free. But if somebody insults him and the boys in Zimbabwe, they will break international protocol and go there and abduct him and bring him here and hide him. Meanwhile, someone who's here in the open committing a crime, because they are close to HH, they go scot-free. It's like it's a kangaroo, it's a banana nation that we are running here. But not to despair, we are just remaining with 11 months and 3 weeks. We need to be able to show these people our true colors and kick them out. Thank you, Ambassador, and congratulations on this successful show.
Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you very much. The line is open. Please make your contribution. Make your contribution. Yeah, make your contribution. We are waiting for you. Thank you. For those calling, the line is open now. We want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. We don't want to do analysis. Tell us your experience. That's what we want. Tell us your experience. What is happening where you are?
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again, you would have said, we cannot sacrifice our power when we have shortage. But you still give us. Katima Mlilo town, where I come from here, is supplied with power from Zambia. When you have a power outage here, we also have power outage. But that's the brotherhood we are talking about, the neighborhood we're talking about. And we should only be grateful and continue to exist in this manner. You spoke also about the Vals-Bendola-Lumbumbashi corridor. I want to tell Your Honor that that corridor was developed during our time. I was Permanent Secretary of Works and Transport. And my counterpart here was Judge Sichinga, Dominic.
The power issue, I think, is huge here.
Yes, caller, we can hear you now. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Hello, caller. Oh, the caller is gone. Just a minute. Please call. Sorry, you got cut. You got cut. Yes, caller, we can hear you. Where are you calling us from?
Yes, I'm calling you from Johannesburg. My name is Mwansa.
Yes, Mwansa.
Yeah, I've been a keen listener to your program, and I really commend you for what you're doing. But at the bottom of it all, what I've seen is that Hakainde Hichilema, or whatever Hichilema, he cannot change. Because if somebody, for example, can take somebody's a bereaved family to court, you would know that he is heartless. So the best thing that we have to do in Zambia is to make sure these key areas like the Electoral Commission there, you must remove those cadres and those ones who can help to rig the elections. And the other thing is that we must make sure that you sensitize the grassroots so that they come election time, they must know that this government must go out. Otherwise, there's no way such a government can favor you. For example, they have been selling electricity outside and, disregarding their own indigenous citizens who actually woke up at zero number to go and vote for them into elections. How can somebody come and say you hate me when the same people that voted you are the ones that you are disregarding? And then lastly, I would want all opposition parties, please, to come together and throw away their egos so that we can remove this treacherous regime. But that will not happen, not until we all come together. So those are the contributions I would like to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again.
Yes, caller, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Chufia, ambassador from the UK, the other Chufia.
Yes, my dear brother, thank you.
Let me take you back to pre-2021 elections when this man was in opposition. He condemned the load shedding that was there. Fast forward, we are where we are. Yes, last season, we probably could have given him an excuse, but even then, it wasn't even necessary because the guy had used up all our allocation of water. Here we are. We've had a very good rain season, but people are still complaining about load shedding. It doesn't make sense. There's a caller who was talking about this man not having a heart for Zambia. They are right. He just doesn't give it a monkeys. The man doesn't care. It's all about him. Let me speak about Maria Zalomis. Ambassador, I don't hide, and anyway, I'm a proud dad. I think I've told you that my daughter is a solicitor in the UK.
Yeah.
I force her to look at these things, happening back home. When that young man, may he rest well, was murdered, I got my daughter to look at to see the video, that clip which has been circulating, and then we had that statement from the police spokesperson. All that I showed her. Today, there's an article. I'm sure you've seen it. There's an article which has been circulating, written by somebody called Koya, something like that, and they've signed themselves as LLB, meaning they are either a lawyer, like we call them in Zambia, or they've done law. They were responding to Dr. Sishua. Laughable, the argument that they were putting up. This person goes to say investigations are being done, right? I showed it to my daughter, and she goes, "But how can he say investigations are being done when the police spokesperson said she wasn't she was only protecting herself?" It doesn't make sense. These people think we are stupid, Ambassador. Anyway, I think I've said that I'm going to register to vote. I am flying to Zambia. I'm going to register to vote, and my vote will count. Trust me. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you.
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again, you would...
Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Anonymous, please.
Anonymous, switch off the other device. Thank you. Make your contributions.
Okay. I'm just from calling, and I forgot to make this point. Please, I know that the diasporans are listening. I'm requesting if you can start sensitizing for us to next year, more especially during elections. Start telling people so that we are not going to allow any government vehicle to come close to the polling stations. We need to make sure that once we vote, we kick this government out, and the people that are living in exile, we want them back. We want things to come back to normal. We want to take back independence of Zambia. We want to be free again. So please, you people that are helping us on these platforms, try to start sensitizing the people to say, we should not accept any government vehicle to come close to the polling stations. What?
Oh, I think it's very clear. Let's pick some other cause. Today we are listening from you. Do you have power where you are? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, Ambassador Mwamba.
Good evening.
Thank you. I will just remain anonymous.
Thank you.
Able to get me?
Yes, we are.
Yes. Ambassador, let me start by saying that many of the Zambian people, or I myself, I may not include others, I'm very much disappointed in our president. When you look back in 2021, when he was coming to power, as the other caller said, the president promised a lot of things to the Zambian. One of it was load shedding. And he used to post on his page that no, load shedding is unacceptable in Zambia. And he had a lot of ideas on how he's going to finish that load shedding. Now, surprising enough, it has happened that the 48 months that they have been in power, we have suffered a lot with load shedding. Employments are finished. Business are not moving. Now, this is the government which is not coming to terms with the people and say, can you be open? Have you failed or you have not failed? Tell the Zambian people where is the problem in terms of load shedding. And now what is happening is that they are selling power abroad. They are selling power in these neighboring countries. And where the money is going, the Zambians have suffered enough. Now, this is a regime which has no shame for the Zambians. A common barberman, a common saloon, and etc. Those people that are doing those business, people are suffering. And now other countries, neighboring countries, they have power. Us, we don't have power. And now the UPND, as it stand, Ambassador, they have no any single idea on how they will end load shedding. Actually, this is now a norm to us. But how are we going to stay like this? Because where am I, like I'm calling you right now? We don't have power. Power only comes for 5 hours. I'm in the dark. We can't buy food, put in the fridge. We can't. We are living in hand to mouth because food can perish. What kind of a person is this one want to acquire? A person who cannot have pity for his own people who voted for him, like what the other guy said. That, you know, these are the people that had to wake up in the morning, 04, we go and vote for you. How do you betray us like this? He has betrayed us a lot. Thank you, Ambassador.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. Yes.
Hello? No, it's a country of anonymous.
Yes, anonymous.
Because
make your contributions.
We are all infringing on our lives. The first thing I want to say, Ambassador, this evening is simple thing. Which freedom so full? Are you getting me?
Neria shiribapo the answer for muntu wandi.
Bamwamba if you have studied a share patakuni if you have chani, HH tribe is to move and it should not be tolerated to govern this country. There is no way Totera was George on an issue that he was not around there. Zaromes Maria there, she was the one even holding the camera. Today she boasts that she cannot be arrested. Why? Because she's Tonga. Where are we going as a country when a Tonga makes an offense is protected? A Tonga's got immunity. This person is destroying our country. This person, I'm telling you, don't even be cheated to say no, he's going to fix anything. The only thing that he has to fix apparently is this issue that we saw last time with those the seeing Sangomas at State House. He cannot fix anything. Look at his shoes. He has failed to fix the issues and you bring him to fix the country. Impossible.
Thank you, Anonymous. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's take the cause. Let's take more cause. Where are you? Do you have power?
I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again, you would have said, we cannot sacrifice our power when we have shortage. But you still give us. Katima Mlilo town, where I come from here, is supplied with power from Zambia. When you have a power outage here, we also have power outage. But that's the brotherhood we are talking about, the neighborhood we're talking about.
Thank you, callers. Today we are discussing the issue of two issues. The power crisis. Zambia has installed capacity of over 3,800 megawatts. Our national consumption at peak is 2,200. How much are we producing? How much power are we producing? Even with the low water levels, how much are we exporting? How much power is available to our people? Why can't ZESCO deliver even its own calendar? Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
This is Munkonge. Good evening, Ambassador.
Shanwa Munkonge. Wonderful.
Okay, Ambassador, in a falling land of here. Muntu fenga abulisha lesa mukatika mwe wakwe tapali finto fenga chitana ngwenga chite fintu fya ko batfire moneka ko bantu fya leta mafya mukatika mwe wako because I remember komba fe pali bachirubanga mwayibukisha sana bachiruba the first thing yuko bachitire after baba pali bu president bali tirama cheicheza yapusana bali pangire calendar tumani bakatolika munche ndesha yapusana pusana ama cheicheza yambi the first time ukuingira kona ku State House. So when muntoro le paramika abantu abakwataka tina kulilesa ila presence yabona anointing ila nomba we muntunga wabula abantu bali abakwata presence ya kwalesa bababika patari, which means nchina otaramukira lesa. So that's why nanguma problems ngamwalolesha bamwamba malaiti yala ya nayo na ole fintu finyi ketu muntu akanya ukukwata oruse ukubula fili mpia filo shino shabare kongola toke katu chiteshani katu peri abantu kuma right choshine mpia bashitisha babo bashibura bere choshine bakongwere bashibura aro baptraida contract kali bena batino kuruse ndarama tabatino tabasakamana abantu so ko tabafo kuruse ndarama choshine bakongola isha abantu cha mosho babura aro baptra contract bashiri befininga bakwayo kulya because mpia bareranda bayoto apoko kuba shani bantu corruption na batari cover so much yo kampanga to amupoke fi 4 years nombeshine mpia lishitashkwatira impact mube karachalo bantu amalight center wa muntu ngata okwete amalight le tontonkanyo limbi bayimini na pakupuisha abantu amano pakwe bati nomba bakareteka fe muyaya because ngabarafa abantu kuchita prosper techbeka tekufutulu ifi aba important ichipatara techiturande kuna pano donomba taisangwapo vajakare kwareva yo vachitari chirufya navasangwa nomulandu uyu navafira nokulala iyo chitari chirufya afwire akupo tinomapali ino ichitefindu fyachitika comparing na system yavachitari chirufya. So that's why kuva mwena kwachiri mbifo lyonse turasapota PF ma situation tuchita compare efe tuwaleikala nefe tuleikala ifo PF tatwakwatapo problem yakova chova PF vale tupere mpia yova PF vale tupere fintu fingi tukala ba support awe turamona fo tuwaleikala nefe tuleikala iyo PF yaleipa yabantu ifo tuwaleikala bwino nangu yaleipa yabantu yale chitashani iyo yaleiba nomba bashire ibe mpia nashifura ninshi abekara charo vale chuliramu omusango efi apana mpina mbawanu omuntu fyafwira bwerera kuliresa ngati akabwerera kuliresa omuntu lesa arakanda because icho chalo kale bachita dedicate uwina Kristo. So wanga waisana ngo alikwata amapawa zokufuma kumbi ufwire wakonka ifya abapali chile chalo ichi chalo nga chali chama satanist nga bali konkere fya ama satanist nga chali chama muslim nga bali konkere fya ama muslim nga chali chama hindus nga bali konkere fya ama hindus nombepo chawe bwina Kristo bafwire bakonka ama principles ya bwina Kristo barona kateko raikara pa chipuna fwire akonka urutambiro wa bwina Kristo. So ichifintu kubwerera kunuma kushiri kubwerera kunuma lesa akabombo mulimo wakwe bantu ishina lya kwalesa teri akunyantikisha tyo ndinyantikishe lirube awe ena alesa mukwima apabipa. So abama churches bekareko panshi babwerereko kunuma nangu ishtanayi po babwerereko kunuma babika kwe fintu mu position abana bakwalesa bachula leso fyakachita tafyakawame pantu arafuaya nga akando muntu nensonde lyonse lyamwana chisuma bamwamba.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Hello, caller. Uh-oh, I have a caller here. Caller, hello, please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. Oh, my dear, I think... Hello? Hello? Sorry, please call back. I understand the network in Zambia is terrible.
We should only be grateful and continue to. I'm also aware of the electricity problems that Zambia is facing. But despite the problems that we have with the supply of electricity in Zambia, you still supply us with electricity. Again, you would have said, we cannot sacrifice our power when we have shortage. But you still give us. Katima Mlilo town, where I come from here, is supplied with power from Zambia. When you have a power outage here, we also have power outage. But that's the brotherhood we are talking about, the neighborhood we're talking about. And we should only be grateful and continue to exist in this manner. You spoke also about the valves being...
Today we are discussing the power crisis in Zambia, the load shedding, the lack of information. How much power are they generating? The installed capacity is 3,800. Consumption at peak is 2,200. How much power are they producing? How much power are they importing? How much power are they exporting? Why do we have this load management, load shedding, the power crisis? Why isn't there sufficient explanation? Why can't ZESCO stick to its own calendar? Even, where they're giving, out of 24 hours, they're only giving our people power for 5 hours. Even that 5 hours is not guaranteed. That's what we are discussing today. And the matter of this young lady who was at the crime scene, participating in the crime scene, and why the police have not picked her up. They claim that they're investigating. How can you investigate without the people that our person won't say? If you remember gassing and someone was killed, they arrested the entire village. In one scene, they had gotten up to, 67 people. So why are they failing to get the people that were at the scene? Hello, caller, please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Anonymous. I'm actually calling from the AI kingdom.
Thank you, Anonymous. Please make your contributions.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Mwamba. One thing that people of Zambia should know is that, we were duped. We were duped, and because we were duped, we believed the lies and everything. People should not expect anything good to come, out of this government. They are self-centered. It's just their interest. They are business-minded. It's profit. It's money-making for them. This is their time. So for us Zambians, if we believe and think that anything good will come out of this government, we are deceiving ourselves. We are deceiving ourselves. God has given us an opportunity, come 2026, to make a decision. It's like you're a woman that has been deceived by this man who promises heaven on earth for you. And then when you get into marriage, you realize he was lying. You have every reason to make a decision to walk away. And this is what we need to do as Zambians. This marriage between HH and us is not okay. It has failed to keep its promises. He has lied left and center. So we are not going to continue in this manner. So I'm urging all the Zambians, please, let us register as voters. Let us kick out this government. Let us have a government in 2026 that will retain the rule of law, where some people won't be, more equal than others. The law applies only to people that are not affiliated to UPND. If you are affiliated to UPND, you are safe. If you are not affiliated to them, the law will visit you. This is what we have. Even when it is you that has been infringed on, you complain, you'll be the person that they will charge, like JJ Banda. We do not want a country like this. Zambia has the capacity and has capable leaders who love the country, not people that have sold us out. Electricity that he talked about so much the time he was in opposition. Where are we today? Where are we today? It is the same thing. So if you are tired of being lied to, don't make a mistake 2026. Let's kick these people out of government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Hi, this is Anonymous calling from Jupiter.
Yes, Anonymous. Make your contributions.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mwamba. Yeah, so I think everything that's happening is just exposing this government. We have people who are chanting HH Baka 2090. They have called us beta. They have called us, we hate HH. But for example, the load shedding, we are being told that there are certain regions in the country which don't experience load shedding. So honestly, how can we live in a country where our father is selecting which area must be load shedded and which must not? So if you don't know, we need to investigate this and determine if it is true. But we have had several people call in and tell us that some areas in the country, they are not receiving load shedding. They are like load shedding free. That's one. The other thing is ZESCO has decided to subcontract to small companies to export power at the expense of certain regions in Zambia. This is criminal. Again, if you are a praise singer, this is the time for you to wake up. Do not support these failed politicians blindly because you are from the same region or whatnot. We as Zambians need to move together forward as one and demand equal rights and opportunities for every Zambian. Which brings me to the murder case. Zambia is a signatory to the Human Rights Declaration, and every human being has a right to life. Like nobody should take somebody's life. Or even in the case of our poor son, Enoch, who was denied life by being tied down until the circulation stopped and he died from his injuries and beatings, whatever they did to him. Again, we are here, praise singers. How would you feel if this is your son who died or your brother who died at the hands of people taking law into their hands? He was outnumbered. He was alone. He's a small boy. There were 5 of them. They ganged up against him, clearly ganged up against him. And behind this, our powerful names, behind some of the people involved in this crime are powerful names. We have the ECZ chair. We have now, I've just heard from this call, that the speaker is also related to the suspected murderer. In fact, it should have been picked up first because that is a property. It's like Ipanganda. If in Umulandunga wachitika, you as the owner of the house can say no. Tamwamume, chen tumutwale ku police, mwamona. Teta abantu abakuita fe Panganda. But take over. Ukumo omuntu. Who authorized them? Because Panganda ilia. Umwine wanganda should be charged. Because she allowed it ingali kene chonse fidanga tatia chitike. So how can she be exempted when, at least if it was some other person's house? But that woman who is being exempted now, saying she was in self-defense, it is a property. If she was seen filming and doing whatever evidence is there. So this again is another exposing of this government. But praising a mamo nenesho tumieva, mulatueva chifetu alipata bahaka inde. Okay, nomba nangu walipata omuntu shua. Mone ni domboko filea. Filea safie under their doorstep. Pamangalaza lomis, dabeba josina. Pamangalaza lomis, do the right thing for the Zambian people. Na lebe baba mangalaza lomis, when he issued the law ya kuisize that if tenge nga mafale tenge fya political party, nga pali umutwe, or whatever, that political party, if they are not on the ballot, you can't wear that regalia. She was threatening people to say we will arrest you or you pay a fine if you wear regalia. Don't wish evil on other people. You are a mother, you are a grandmother. She is mukoweko bound. She will never have peace, and you, your entire family, will never have peace because you spilled blood. Let us just be fair and let us not rule the country with impunity by threats and looking at other Zambians that they are less human than you. Otherwise, God will continue exposing you. Thank you, Honorable Mwamba.
Thank you, my dear sister. Thank you very much for that contribution. We have a lot of people waiting. Let's see how they can come in. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from. How in the Fiabuino Mbuya?
Mbuya in the Fiabuino was a fenia.
Yes, my dear brother.
Mulishani bakalamba bandira inendo mfobwino kozi bakalamba lesale mipala imwe.
Thank you very much, my brother.
Kabantu nombalesa ali ishibatawe kabiye mwamba we ikalakulia so that wafulishe kwa bena Zambia. So kuisa kweli ashiyesu nalambira pali ashine ya self defense. Ine self defense if ona ichwa mwambangana malanda self defense meaning ine no ulio muntu mwena ine wa mwamba tulelwa. Meaning you are on your self defense. Hero mwasa njipaya ine. Hero nomba walanda self defense. Nomba ngana limu nalisa ipaya imwe. Ngana ene walisa njewa in self defense. Mamone. So the police their statement wapangire bwino and the balesta divide the country. And the church ine ikata kuli PF. Ikata pe kuli PF. Awe kwena abene basata bali fwana balungu bafwa ero wambo kuikata kuchipani. Mamone vyo bachitikira nomba baza romisi. Ewa nena ndawo tawalefoya ligalia tawalefoya PF tawalefoya echizo chako edigalungu. Nomba mwamo na fyole safi wa lechita. Asa leta nombe chintu chikalamba pamiabo.
then neri ashia zesko vamwamba twali bera nokubera nomba ama fridge fair yaluka nomba ni ma storage yabakwati ni ma coffee ni mayanda so apa kwati fwe so tule plan nomba tule fokusha ma fridge aeni kaita fire bomba twali bikamo fyakulia fyaliona ka twale chwata hawe ama right ni 2-3 hours aba nespa Zimbabwe apa same kaliba dam now kwata 3 hours of load shedding ero ifo nomba ni mutatakuya nendarama esho walera ndati walesha ama right tashule chimona ero nali umfo ubi bali aba MP shuwa kuya kalipira wa kuzesco koma niwa member of parliament bali chono kuchwa na mafunde na bapanga tibale ama right but kuya kalipira wa kuzesco ukula nomfule mwanjewa road inantani schedule mfule mulenjeba how ba member of parliament wafule batulandira kunomba ama MPs twako atatete batulandireko bali batinya bali ba mwenso. So 2026, whoever is not speaking for us, a member of parliament in all 156 constituencies, as long as you are not speaking for us, that tukwatama right, we are very.
Thank you, Zephania. Thank you. Hello, caller. Please tell us your name and where you are calling us from.
Good evening. My name is Nancy.
Yes, Nancy. Please make your contributions.
First, I want to comment about the load shedding situation. Where I am, I lost all power last week because power now comes around 7 and goes by 12. So I leave home, there's no power, and I get back to no power. And for the businesses, it's really hit us bad. Those of us who are in refrigeration kind of businesses, alternative sources of power, which can power the kind of systems we have, you can't use these cheap solar solutions. A genset also, the diesel is very expensive, and right now there's a serious shortage of diesel here on the Copper Belt. Like a few days ago, there was time Chingola didn't have any, Kitwe didn't have, only Chidawombe had diesel. So all these challenges, and then you are still expected to pay all these funny taxes and obligations. So it's squeezing us left, right, and center. We don't even know how we can breathe. And yet we're being praised by Namibia that we are supplying power even when we have a challenge here. So it's surprising how a father and a mother can sit and decide that in my house, our children will not eat anything because our neighbors are poor. They also need food. So let's give them our food and let us starve in here. I don't understand the rationale. I can just say we have people who are they are heartless. They don't care about the cries of the citizens here. I don't know who we want to impress because it's us who are supposed to benefit first from our resources. That minister in Chingola, that MP, Derek Shilundika, was just trying to be relevant, to show some relevance. He's an MP. And in Parliament, he can ask the Minister of Energy why we have these load shedding issues. Instead, he goes to ZESCO to go and harass a mayor employee who has nothing to do and has no control over who gets power.